To call this meeting to order, it is 6 o'clock, East Bay Charter Township Parks Commission. Can you stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
Sure.
Thank you.
Roll call, Reardon.
Here.
Hepmer. Walsh.
Here.
LaRose. Here. Layton.
Here.
Stasinski.
Here.
Andres. Was he absent? Excuse absence? Okay.
If anybody wants to review and make a motion for the agenda, I know the geocaching subcommittee meeting was canceled, so should we just scratch it off, or?
Yeah.
Is that under reports?
It can just state it. It's not actually part of the agenda. The reports is just something that,
Yeah, I guess that's always there, isn't it?
it's just something that we have.
Okay.
I make a motion to approve the meeting agenda as presented for January 20th, 2026.
Motion by LaRose, second by Verdon. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. And then conflicts of interest. I guess I skipped over that, but I guess we would have had that. Public comment, there is no public comment, to comment. Correspondence, I don't recall seeing, other than the geocache cancellation, any emails from the month. And other than that, I know you guys have been communicating with harvesting, that's on the agenda, so.
Yeah, the new mailbox locations are over
Yeah.
here, and then if you guys want to park back there, now the door code works on either door. It's
I was
just-
worried, I've never used the door code, so I was worried that one would be locked.
Which actually, when you guys get here, it should be open for you anyway, because you hit the button and it's open to the public.
Right.
All right, then after correspondence, we'll move down to reports, the treasurer report.
Yeah, it's in your packet there. This is our final year-end report as of December 31st. We spent 1,000 out of 110, so not over budget, which is good. Would like to see us spend a little bit closer to our budget, but also there might still be invoices that get backdated, so that might be a little bit. But overall, not bad. Hoping this year a little bit closer to the mark.
All right, staff report.
Good evening. The sled holder was constructed, and we've put some sleds out at Grace McDonald for the public.
Tested them out.
I did this weekend. They're
They all
more
work
for,
right.
more, I think, built for a tinier human. I ended up on my back most of the way down the hill on my, sliding, but they were fun.
Good
My
feedback.
kids like the flying saucers, so. that's
Yeah,
their
so
first
yeah,
time playing with
they'd
them,
be
so.
set then. They'll love it.
Okay, they're all saucers.
Yep, we put 5 saucers out. We have 5 more at the barn in case they go missing or get broken. We did have custom stickers made letting them know that they were from the Parks Commission for the public and to return them when they were done using them.
Now they'll probably take them.
This could be a
Yeah, from
souvenir.
what I was there during a really busy time, and everybody was really mindful and kind of respectful
Yeah.
of putting them in bag, and, making sure that they're available to anybody who wanted to use them. and-
Did you get all saucers, or you got some
Yeah.
flat ones? Like you
All
get 2
saucers.
people on them?
All saucers, but we do have, money left over. I think you guys wanted to spend about 500 altogether, so we're definitely under that. So if we wanted to get some more, we can.
Flat ones,
Okay.
like 12-year-olds and,
So that 2 could go
Or
together.
whether, this thing where a parent can go with a child.
Yeah.
Like,
Mhm.
maybe a couple small.
yeah.
Good idea, yeah. I'll get a couple of those out there.
I did try using my new Costco suit out there. I don't know if it was just underinflated or what, but it was, the the same exact scenario where I jumped in my tube and just didn't go anywhere. Real sad. I wish the sausage would have been out that time.
Yeah, I don't know, yeah, we have a tube that does that too. I mean, it goes down the hill, but you're going really slow,
Yeah.
so.
I'll let you use my saucer.
Oh, you
By
got that
metal.
fun Christmas
Yeah.
vacation one?
Yeah, you can try it out.
So yeah, we got those out there, looking forward to our upcoming sledding event. There was discussion previously about the match for one of our trust fund grants for Holiday Woodlands Natural Area. That $100,000 match will be in the 2027 budget, because we won't see those funds until the end of this year. Regarding the Holiday Woodlands Natural Area, there's things we can do before we receive that funding, so we're looking at working with our stakeholders to finalize the trail design and considerations, communicating with a couple of property owners about easements, so we can get those things in place, so that we're ready for next steps at the end of the year when it comes to actually constructing the trails. The sledding party is February 7th from 1 to 3. The construction bids for the improvements at Grace McDonald Park went out. I believe it was the end of last week. Wade Trim posted those. So we should have those back soon, so that we can look at what construction looks like. We've asked that they have them, either in the spring or the fall, not to coincide with pavilion rentals. And the last thing on my list is the geocaching subcommittee. I know we did miss that meeting tonight. Is the subcommittee something you guys are wanting to hold on to, or is that something you think that business could be handled within the Parks Commission?
I think it could just, address it as it comes up, to be honest. I mean, we plan one event a year, well, so far once, but, we're trying to make it an annual thing.
Which you should, because I think it's,
I mean,
everyone new
April
will
is a
want to be
cool-
coming
yeah.
around to do it, yeah.
But, maybe an idea could be, maybe we could work with the library and incorporate it into a program or something, so it's not just,
That's that, yeah, I do not have any more programming for that.
I guess from a staffing perspective, it's challenging to have a body that doesn't meet regularly, because then when people ask when our next meeting is, I'm like, I don't know, whenever they feel like scheduling one. And then just kind of thinking about, like, you guys are, as a body, kind of starting to do a lot more programming with the farmer's market and kind of what some of those other things. We were wondering if there was a reason why there was still the subcommittee. I know it was probably necessary to get the caches set up and do all of that, like work to get it established, but now that the program's kind of up and running, is it necessary anymore?
We'll just handle it as it comes up.
yeah, I mean, you could just always add it onto an agenda as an agenda item.
Yeah,
That's
so
what
you
I
guys
think,
get an
yeah.
application for one or something.
And because we plan on continuing the programming, we think it's valuable to have a geocaching event in the spring.
Became glaringly aware this month because it was like, oh, Nathan has 3 meetings, because he's got the geocaching meeting ready, the food security advisory, and then your regular meeting, and it was like, that's a lot of stuff to prepare.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm okay with, I don't know, dissolving or just pausing that committee. I
Okay,
think it doesn't seem necessary to have it
we can find out.
at this time, at least.
Okay. Sounds good.
We're happy to help out if anything comes up.
Yeah.
So just something else to report on. I think one of our business items, actually, no, it's not, but regarding, the commercial activities in our parks, we had a resident that was interested in renting one of the pavilions to hold less than 4-hour day camp educational programming for, folks within her community, within her church, like the homeschooled community. And that kind of raised the question of commercial activities in parks, so staff has kind of been looking into this and considering, you know, how do we approach this? Have we in the past? You know, do we need a policy for these types of activities? Do we need an application process? You know, some of the pros with that are, you know, it can support local small businesses, it can expand programming, it can increase activity in the park. You know, some of the concerns are, you know, equity concerns if we start charging a fee for, you know, folks to use our, what are generally free spaces.
But if she's reserving a pavilion, she's paying for it.
Right, but, you know, if we were to go like above and beyond, because it was, you know, commercial activity, traffic noise, wear and tear, I don't think those are really big on our list. So we've kind of looked back at some of the other activities we had. You know, Sam found some good information in our recreation plan on page 16. East Bay Township does not provide programming, which we're starting to, but public, private, and nonprofit partners support other groups to host recreational programming in the township, and it lists examples, you know, like the football leagues, the Little League, pickleball group, cycling. It seems like, you know, some of these other partner programs may be charging a small fee for their activities, so I guess we're considering how, you know, this resident that wants to hold a small nature camp, you know, that she would fit into that. So I guess we just wanted to pose to you, what does commercial activities in our parks look like? Is this something that staff should be approving on like a case-by-case basis, so long as it fits within our rec plan? Or do we need to look at a larger policy and application process?
I don't think we need to overcomplicate it at this time. I mean, it's, you know, we don't get too many requests, so we can take them on. You know, it sounds like in this instance, you know, she's doing it, you know, like a church affiliated or whatever, but it sounds like she was willing to pay the fee for the pavilion, which in that case, you know, let her, I guess. Like, I mean, and ain't gonna be not a whole lot of risk to it. You know, she's a paying customer, so it'd be like a business renting a pavilion or whatever. You know, if she was gonna try to barter with us, you know, to use the space to run a program, you know, that, you know, then we'd probably have to have some sort of little process to that. Or if it was like a food truck trying to park in the park or something.
That's
you
what
know,
I'm thinking, like
you
a
know.
business versus a nonprofit, or even if she's just doing it for free, it's just a church gathering, there's no admission fee. And honestly, we always tell us that, you know, why the legally having the rule that have to be free, so we did need to crack down on someone in place. But not like we're going there and like make sure no one's collecting.
But also, you know, is it a one-time or a repeated time frame every week or whatever? That's another,
I think she was looking to do it in the spring, I want to say, you know, it was during a weekday. She's gonna resubmit her application because I think some of her times have changed. But I think it was, you know, 7 or 8 weeks, you know, one afternoon on a weekday.
Supposed to be Killingsworth or is it Cal? Yeah, I mean, I see no problem with activating that park, it seems underutilized.
I think, though, as a whole, we need to have some kind of boundaries, the who, the what, the whens, the wheres on these things, because they're gonna start continually popping up here and there, instead of, you know, as they come along. You know, we do some research on it and just see, make some recommendations of what needs to be done when we're approached by that again.
I guess just so we have some direction, I guess, what is the concern then? Like, what are we trying to prevent from happening and what are we trying to encourage to happen? That's different than like what our rules already cover, because our rules prohibit certain behaviors. So we can always fall back on those if somebody's doing some sort of alcohol-related event, like, nope, sorry, no alcohol in the parks, you know, some of those types of things. I guess I would want to know kind of what you're envisioning is like, what we're.
The unknown, I guess, of what could be. I mean, yes, we have our rules and regulations. I'm just saying out there that, you know, why are we right now second guessing it? You know, the rules are already there. So that's where I'm just bringing it up as a conversation.
Yeah.
Why are we having this conversation if we all felt, is it necessary, is it not? So I'm sort of hearing that we're on the fence post. Do we not? Do we have anything in place, do we not? That's all that I'm hearing. So if we are questioning it, something that is still within our regulations, I question, why are we questioning it?
What if we
Cur-
created
current-
a reservation policy? And then it could be incorporated into that, a multiple evolving policy, you know?
Yeah, I think that was kind of our, like, we don't currently have anything in place other than like the form you fill out, which.
To
has
rent
the
it for a day or a
disclaimer
half
to rent
day,
it.
yeah.
And then,
I think the
And, but, like,
regulations are on that.
I guess the question was like, do we think it's necessary to raise it to the point where you need to establish a policy? Or is it something that like your parks and facilities person can handle as is? And if there is one that becomes a question, then propose it to you guys kind of like that, where, because you already do have, I mean, while Little League isn't a for-profit entity, people pay a fee to be part of the Little League and then they go participate in it. So like, you could argue that that is a similar functionality to what she's doing. She's having people pay to come get a functional program for these kids that, like,
But weren't we also
Oh,
at
wait a
one
minute.
time thinking, like, if somebody wanted to go to Grace and have pickleball lessons and charge for those lessons, where is that fine line then there?
I feel like something like that, they have to pay like a reservation fee for a quarter or something, because, you know, then they can have exclusive use of that.
But we have nothing
Because if
written
they're
or
already doing
anything
it,
about
they're taking
that.
it over and charging somebody a fee, you know.
I'm just saying, that kind of situation could come around.
So I-
I think we can handle that in a case-by-case situation where if it's Grace McDonald, then pickleball courts are the most popular park and one of the most popular amenities at the park, then we would take it into consideration. Right now, it's the lady that wants to go to Killingsworth, which is a super quiet park.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm saying, let's get as much programming and people out of our parks as we can. If it becomes so much to the point that then someone complains about it, I think that's when we circle back to this and make some sort of policy, but I think we're a long way away from that.
Are we able
Yeah.
just to leave it up to your discretion, and if you feel like it's something that needs to be addressed, bring it to our attention kind of a deal?
Yeah, because right now, we're not really seeing a conflict, you know, in the parks or with people that are renting. It's just something that, you know, we noticed, you know, commercial activities in parks. But, you know, right now, we're seeing, you know, we have, you know, T-ball leagues, baseball leagues, and, you know, someone that wants to hold Nature Day programming, so.
Yeah, and-
Well,
Something that we,
The difference there, though, is do the other ones pay a fee?
The
Like,
participants?
the baseball and stuff, they just run their program, don't they? We get, like, it's our part of the partnership or agreement, or?
It's, what is it, like $1
It's
for
$1.
Little League to rent
Yeah.
the field? It's like nothing, I mean.
well, do they pay a fee to the, you know, the organization that's
Yeah, I mean,
facilitating
yeah, the,
the training?
I would
you're
imagine
asking
they
if
have
they're
for
paying a
uniforms.
fee on the field that they're
Oh,
renting? or
no,
are
they
you
pay a
saying-
fee to participate in Little League. We rent Little League the field for $1-ish.
I mean, we don't even have a field fee established or anything, it's just an agreement, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's the difference in the two, is what I'm saying, is one is more kind of like a collaborative partnership, and one is, you know, a lady paying to run her program, so.
Didn't we years ago, sorry, but didn't we have a confrontation or thought that somebody wanted to do yoga in the parks, but she was going to be charging for that yoga? And I think you're the one that brought that up. Do you remember anything like that? And so we're kind of like,
The conversation went pretty much exactly like it's going right now.
That's a good example, yeah. So in that scenario, in these scenarios, do we feel we need a policy and application, or is this, you know, we're excited to, you know, provide these spaces to the community, so long as, you know, it's reasonable?
yeah, I think that's when I keep going back to, if we had something in place that they knew if they're charging a fee, that we know that upfront, you know, what do we do about that? When they're going to do that fee, is it, you
Charge
know?
everybody $1.
I mean, so each situation is different, but yet we still don't know. Somebody comes in tomorrow and wants to do yoga in the park, and they're gonna charge a fee. Is that okay that they take that space and they make their fee, they get their fee, but we don't do anything, not unless they wanna rent the pavilion. But the pickleball courts or tennis court, they wanna have an event, you know, how do you do that? And they're gonna pay the participant, or they're gonna charge the participants to be able, I'm just throwing it out there.
I feel like if they're restricting a certain space, like a pavilion or a tennis court or something like that, preventing the public from using it because they are using it,
For
you know,
that time.
for their time or business or
Mhm.
whatever, that's when we'd probably have to put in a fee or something. But if they're just doing yoga on the field, like, I don't feel like, you know, that's that big of a deal. It's just people going, using the parks, you know.
Stretching in the park.
I'm just
But I don't
bringing
know,
it
I
up.
mean, it could become a big thing, but, you know.
Well,
right now
it
it's-
seems like every 3 years this comes up.
Mhm.
Because that,
Has
this,
anyone from the public ever complained, or we're just making hypothetical complaints?
well, okay, so 9 years ago, I was teaching in the park. And it brought up the conversation. And then, this is then someone else brought it up. And now this lady.
Wanted to do that too.
Yeah, wanted to do something similar. So we talked about it, and now we're talking about it again. So,
So once
It's
every 3
store-
years, we
yes.
have a
Yes.
situation where somebody wants to rent our parks.
Yes.
Well, they
And
weren't
no
going to
one
be
did complain about
charged.
that by people, so I think we're gonna have ourselves.
The parks
Maybe a
weren't
good
going to
question for the
charge.
conference,
Are you guys looking for
Yeah.
direction on, like, next step on what to do next? Like, should we, you know,
Allowing,
advise you to maybe look into a policy or, you know, something you could put at the end of the application, just that would,
Or not, you know, kind of like, we can either continue where we are right now, where Nathan kind of just does, you know, looks at it, does it align with what we have in our Parks and Rec plan, does it break any of our rules? No, okay, cool, it's activating a park that's not being used very much, sweet, you can do that, and then kind of navigate that as we go, or if you guys wanted some sort of solidified policy. 'cause then-
What is she gonna charge each participant? Do you have an idea?
I didn't ask a dollar amount,
Okay.
I don't wanna go there.
What would it
Yeah,
really
but
matter
it's-
anyways?
Yeah, it's.
Well, I mean,
Government needs its cut.
yes. Mommy wants that dog park. No.
We're asking, you know, for folks that are doing this, like a yoga instructor or a gal that wants to have a 3-hour nature-based program, you know, if we do ask for a cut, you know, what they're collecting already is probably gonna be pretty small.
Yeah.
So it might.
My point is,
That just takes
Okay.
it
no,
out.
my point is like, so maybe if we're starting to rent these to people, like, and again, what she's proposing is a great, fantastic idea of an underutilized park. But if she's gonna if she's gonna profit off it in one way or another, maybe the rental fee should be more than the residential rental fee. You know, maybe because she's gonna do a business, we charge her $50 for the day as opposed to like the 20, you know what I mean? To me, that would, not that it's the end of the, you know, there's not that much difference, but maybe if you're using it for a for-profit reason, we charge you a little bit more on the rental, just for instance. That's, you know, not like, what is it, $20 a day? Not like we're gonna charge her 200, but, you know, it's just a little more if you're gonna use it for profit, possibly.
I think just because it's such a small-scale thing at this moment, that we could probably just get away with using your discretion as they come and just collect the data, how often it comes. If it starts
Yeah.
to happen a lot, bring it
Yeah.
back, we'll review it and reassess it.
And chances are, with that underutilized park, it's not gonna pose any problems.
No, but up the road, there could be
Yeah,
more and more
and-
people
If
looking
someone's
for
approaching
spaces.
Nathan, asking if they can do it, you know, if they won't. I mean, park-
but that's the point I made, up the road 3 years later.
Yeah, we're still in the same spot. We've
Well-
never changed anything.
Well, if it only comes up once every 3 years, that's, you know,
And do you see all these booming enterprises using our park? No,
Yeah.
No.
nobody is.
Mm-mm.
well, I could see, you know, like a you know, something like social sports, you know, who uses fields and, you know, runs, you know, big things throughout the summer, you know, maybe they have an interest in a football field or something, you know, and then they take up that space, it'd be restricted to the public because they're running programs on it throughout the summer. So something like that, yeah, we'd have to have a fee, and, you know, that's something we probably expect to see back in front of us, but a program in a pavilion, and you can make the call on that.
Is Little League a nonprofit?
Huh?
Is Little League a nonprofit?
Yeah.
I think so.
I'm guessing.
Mhm. You know, the county too, there's places that do yoga at the civic center.
They pay, usually.
Okay.
'Cause you usually have to use a facility within the park. Yeah, there's usually a paper trail for that. But they see it more frequently too, you know,
Mhm.
they, you know.
Yeah.
That's something they hear about all the time. So are we cool with that? If they just use discretion, collect data, if it comes a frequent thing, we'll reevaluate and kind of move forward from there?
Yeah, we'll keep you informed.
Or if we get a customer who wants to, you know, restrict a big part of a park, then we can address that, but, you know, single one-off programs, I think we're okay with you guys making that call.
Yeah. Especially, did you say she was doing it like geared towards homeschoolers, and it's gonna be probably one afternoon a week or something?
Yeah, one morning or afternoon
Yeah.
a week
So
during
then-
weekdays in the spring.
Yeah.
So it's
then-
not gonna interfere with like our weekend.
Yeah,
pavilion.
exactly. It's gonna be during a very slow time at the park.
And that pavilion has only been rented twice per year for the last
Yes,
2 years.
yes.
Smith family.
Time to put in a pickleball court.
That concludes my staff report.
All right. We want to look at the minutes for December 15th, 2025. And let us know if there's any changes or anything that needs to be adjusted on them.
I make a motion that we approve the minutes for December 15th, 2025, as they were presented in the packet.
Second?
All right, motion by LaRose, second by Varen. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, the minutes are passed. Business before the Parks Commission. The Food Security Advisory Committee nomination. I believe the email is in here.
Yep. Is this person a resident of East Bay Township? Is it a requirement?
No, I
Oh,
don't believe
okay.
in the rules, but I can look really quick.
I can't say for sure if they are a resident, but I have an inclination to say yes.
Who has met with her?
Seems like good background.
Beth and I met with her on a Teams call, so she sent this inquiry. There was some back and forth about her interest and setting up a meeting. Beth and I had a meeting with her for about an hour to discuss her history, some of the goals of the Food Security Advisory Committee. And we thought she would be a good fit. I believe we do have an opening. We were looking for someone.
I will move to approve Jacqueline Cobb for appointment to the Food Security Advisory Committee as an at-large member.
Second.
Motion by Burden, sorry.
Who are you?
Yeah, I swear I see like a V at this angle.
Ferris last time.
No, I thought I said Verdon, and then I tried to stop myself because, sorry. And second by
Layton.
Layton, sorry. I don't see you guys often enough, I'm sorry.
Once a month?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Speaking of, it's unlikely that I can make it on next Wednesday.
Okay. Well, that's
I
fine,
will-
we just appointed a new person so they can show up, and we still have a quorum.
Right. I will let you know.
All right, we'll move down to letter B, scientific harvesting in the parks. The gentleman responded back to us. There's a
I make a
motion.
motion to support this.
I'll move to approve Brad Slaughter's request to harvest plant specimens as these on township properties to expand our understanding of the species present in the state.
Correct.
So was that you that made the motion?
Yes.
And you seconded,
read.
or did you make the motion and
I
yours?
feel like that wasn't enough.
Okay,
I-
okay, so you're making the
I'll
motion.
make
You
it.
made
you are
the motion.
seconding?
You made the motion.
I'll support
I
it.
made this
Okay.
specific,
Okay.
you got it right there for us.
All right, so motion by Reardon and second by LaRose. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. We can Thank Brad for his patience too.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
absolutely.
We just need to
We've
Seems
like
taken
to
this
say okay
around
to
for
this
what,
guy.
3 months?
Yeah.
That'll be a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
Luckily, it's -10 outside, so there's not much.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
2 feet of snow.
So letter C, 2026, MNRTF grant. Look, we're aiming to go for a grant for the Arbutus 5, Phase 2.
Yep. we'd
But
like-
the engineering's not covered, right?
That wouldn't be paid for under the grant, so I believe that is something we would have to pay for, so the initial, site development, layouts, design, we would pay for, so that we could then apply for the grant.
Where's the budget?
Trying to think.
Prior to moving forward with that.
I think there
we
was
wanted
money
to
in the
see if
budget
was-
for that.
If this is the project that you guys were kind of thinking about moving forward with or not, and then if that's the case, then we would get the official numbers together of how much it's gonna cost to design it out and get that to you. But we didn't want to move forward with that if you had another project that you guys wanted to kind of direct us towards.
Refresh my memory, did we put money in that for 26?
There was a pool of money set aside, but it wasn't earmarked for any
I
one
don't think
project.
anything-
Yeah, for contract services, right? We always just try to pad it, so for moments like
I don't
this.
think it has that amount in there.
Is it contract service or is it engineer fees? Or is it both?
We have a capital outlay for Arbutus 5, which we didn't put anything in that bucket, but we do have attorney engineering grant fees, we have 30,000 in there,
30 or
30. Attorney engineering and grant fees. So we could get an estimate from Wade Trim on what it would look like. They've already worked on this site, so I think we're gonna probably already have.
I think since phase 1 was also approved of this, there's better chances for phase 2. And if that's starting to get done without it. Also, I think this was hugely popular this summer. But hang on there if you could buy it phase 2. For a while there, I wanted to pause and say, leave it as is, but, I don't know what else.
I'm on board with it, I like it.
All the great stuff is coming out of this year's budget.
Yeah, there's a lot going on at Grace. This site was appealing because it has been funded by the trust fund before, and they like to, continue that. And we want to keep our ask under 75,000, because in the past, they've kind of automatically awarded those, so we're hopeful to go with a design that's under that 75, so then we might be a shoe-in for funding.
So, hold on.
What do you guys think?
An app, oh,
Does it say?
I was thinking engineering would be 75,000.
That's what I was on.
Yeah.
I got confused.
Well, we're thinking like maybe a playground and maybe some of the sidewalks.
The
This-
ADA, yeah, I'd love to finish the ADA.
Yeah, so this map here, you know, we do have some conflicts with one, we plow the snow.
Right here.
Yeah,
The,
most of that
the
beach.
playground doesn't have to be incredible.
Right, exactly. Something simple.
Not a metal slide.
This was just your conceptual plan that we pulled from the previous grant applications.
Right.
This was just kind of like what you guys had thought about prior.
No, this is Wade Tram showing us what's possible.
We will,
Yeah, we're
we will
thinking-
adjust accordingly to meet that 75,000.
I mean, Gentry Park is over.
I think we're gonna need more than 75,000.
Probably just ADA alone would be.
Yeah.
I'd bet money on it. We're gonna need more than
And
75,000.
that wouldn't include the playground equipment.
We were thinking a pretty modest playground, because there's not a lot of space at this site.
Right, because you need to plow the snow.
Or we could also look at like, you know, installing the sidewalks and then designating the spots and locations for those equipment pieces and that are purchased at a later time, but at least then you get your circulation path and your spots where they're gonna sit, kind of a thought. But we would work with Wade kind of on that. about kind of-
I mean, if we did swings and some sort of new kind of functional play piece,
There's so many nice
we'll probably
Things
get it.
out there
Slide and
that-
swings, like something nature kind of
that are
looking,
simple.
And I thought we were
It's
gonna go
small.
for younger age stuff too.
because there's also that hill there that we talked about, like doing a slide built into the hill kind of deal. So it'd be out of the way a little bit.
Yeah, I'm in agreement on that. But also too, you know, hopefully the problem will be fixed on the runoff from the road up above. And that's into consideration under the second phase. It is an issue.
And maybe we find a spot on the other side of the creek where it's shady.
Over here.
For the beach,
Over closer to the bathroom.
we sort of left that all natural shoreline for fishing.
I like keeping the playground close to the beach, because then if you have kids that one wants to swim, one wants to play.
Right, you can see them.
Well, and it was pointed out to me that to expand the current beach that you have would violate our current ordinance. We don't allow for the expansion of.
We never wanted to do
Okay.
that. I was always under the impression that that was going to be planted, but I was wrong.
What do we do?
Because right,
Over here?
right now
Who
that
says we
area's
can't do
just
that, though?
it's mucky right here, right?
Yes, it's really mucky.
Yeah, like where they've got sand, where they've got sand should be
Should be natural.
planted, like we did on the one side.
There's
We
a
wouldn't
couple
be able to
things that
do
we
that large
weren't
beach
supposed to do
area.
that we did,
No, it
did
doesn't.
for that, so why would that stop us?
I'm sorry, Sue, what? We were both talking.
It's fine.
I have to kind of go back and try to remember, because
But
I
anyways-
remember talking about putting sand there too, like we'd have to like put sand there.
And that is not allowable in
Approved, yeah.
our ordinance right now.
Based
Can't
off
you
of,
put it- You can add to the existing
Yes, but this.
beachfront, but you
the way
cannot
that
put
this
it in
plan
the
shows it,
lake.
though, this is an expansion of your existing beach area.
Absolutely
You'd have
it
to
is.
remove the natural vegetation that's there in order to do it, and you guys would not want to do that based on,
but could
Based on
we,
what?
isn't,
I want, finish it, Sam.
well, based on that, we don't allow that in our
Yeah,
ordinance for
our-
residents. So we would want to
I
definitely.
was just wondering,
But isn't that already the beach line
There
right
is a
there?
small beach area there where you.
See the
have
blue?
movie map,
see
but-
the, here,
Yeah, I see the blue.
But it's
It only goes like
basically
2
all
seconds
of,
away.
everything to the east,
this is a very small little sandy beach.
where the Moby Mac can take you
Yeah, where
down
we
there,
dump sand.
and you can.
And this is all the muckiness where people put it in their boats and stuff.
Nobody puts in.
Try.
You don't do that, you don't do that anymore, do they?
You shouldn't be. able to-
People put their kayaks in at the Moby Mat.
Oh,
It's,
got them that whole nice launch.
well, people use both. You can kind of tell the population that's using the ADA and the population that's just lugging it in and out right quick. We don't need to make the Sandy Beach any bigger. Nobody's pressed for space when we're there. And so I'm wondering
So that
if
would
we
bring
could
cost down.
plant, Sue, what's the thing called? The runoff planting?
Rain garden.
Well, we had wanted a rain garden in before they paved it.
They recommended not doing
That doesn't
it.
exist. I was just looking where the runoff is, so refresh my memory, didn't we move the handicap kayak launch over to the other side? Is it still there?
It's on the,
It-
it's on the,
it-
as pictured.
Yeah, it would be basically.
Oh, okay,
in
yeah,
the middle
so
of
that's
the-
just stored there for the,
Okay, yeah,
yeah,
'cause
no, it's over here. You're right, this is your runoff.
there's the runoff.
This is the picture that we're looking at has sand there,
Mhm,
but
I got that.
Wait, go back. Can we plant this then? Just have a little path to some little playgrounds and then
Mhm.
plant this
Yeah,
as our
'cause
runoff?
So when we have these folks go over this, are they going to be reviewing past material and all that too? Okay.
Yeah.
Because I can't remember all the conversations from the past, but it sounds like there's a lot of trying to remember what was said and all that, so.
And it actually has been forceful enough, this was in April of last year, that it actually eroded away the sand from the photo, from the runoff. from the road.
Are we,
So that needs to be considered in your engineering.
are you talking about runoff from the road or runoff
Yes.
from the parking lot?
From the road, runs down, the top of the road runs down because most of you chose to resurface the asphalt, so that's just like a running stream, and it runs on the asphalt, because we didn't do the pervious, and it runs right into the lake, so we have that wash, that runoff. It actually, like, there's a little, looks like a little creek from that,
Oh,
from
yeah,
that one
so
day
yeah,
of
from
runoff.
the parking lot area.
Yes,
Okay.
down
Yeah.
from the top of the drive
Yeah,
down.
I
So
know what you're talking about.
yeah, so, and actually, it's right there alongside the road, so I know the road commission will have to come and get involved and do some things. I mean, they've done some things up there on Hawk Road that will help eliminate a lot of that runoff. But anyways, just something in that, once those engineers start going, remember, we got an issue with runoff, and it's always been there.
So shouldn't we be making this judgment call on the 75,000 more or less after we see what the engineering comes back looking like?
Yeah.
If you provide, like,
Yeah.
what's the timeline here?
I guess the direction we were looking for is just, is this a project we should move forward in exploring for you? Or was
Yeah.
there another project you saw that rose higher to the top?
If we can get some kind of grant or something, why wouldn't we do?
Yeah.
Well,
that's-
yeah,
that's
it's just,
where-
do we want?
We have the
to
grant, we know we
review
want to apply to, we just didn't know
this?
which
Or do you want
project to
you
apply.
could apply for, I think, community garden, you could try to do it for Pine Grove playground equipment.
I don't think the community garden would be a
I
strong.
think that's shot that down.
Right, yeah, Beth walked in here and said, nope, they don't accept it.
So, yeah.
Except what?
Community garden.
So
For this grant.
I think this should be the project. Does anybody disagree?
What else do we have in our, dog park's going, ADA at Grace is going.
I'm not against this one at all, but I would
Cars
say yes. Well, 75 grand's not really gonna do what I think we want phase two to be. Granted, we could try to match it with more hundred money for funding sources, but
Well, but- and I
is
guess,
there a smaller project that we could tackle for 75K? I'm not.
Yeah, I know, that's what
I
I'm,
don't know, well, I'm not mad at
trying to remember. Or do we just look at ADA for number 2, number 5? I was thinking phase 2. Or just look at the playground.
For 75, right?
I think you could get a modest playground. And maybe,
And we don't
Can-
know how much the engineering's gonna cost.
Could we go to the engineering and get a phase 2 and a phase 2B or a phase 3? And then adjust to the
it. Make
grant?
as many as we want, we can charge you.
well, yeah, no, you could, what you would do is you could have those as alternates, so you would have your base plan, and then alternate one is build out more of it. Alternate two is build out all of it, you know, like you can have that tiered in a way.
And I think, Nathan, you said something, or maybe you did, about Garrison, that we can only be so big, because there's only so many parking spots, you know, so why make it the size of, you know, Grace McDonald when there just isn't parking there, but make it a modest one. yeah.
Part of me wants to like, you know, because it does seem kind of a stark ditch, like really nice developed park all over the west.
Yeah,
And then kind of a marshy little gross spot that people sort of.
Yeah, and
so
I
I
would-
get wanting to like,
Right.
kind of balance that out.
I think we should go with it, and then I would like to see, because I think Beth is the one that picked out all the, you know, benches and the coloring and all that. We should transfer that over to the other side too, so it all combines together in that more natural tan color and natural woods. So anyways,
Well,
that looks.
That's what I was thinking in that $75,000 cost, you know, was the playground equipment, the picnic tables that would go in that area and all that, the sidewalk that would go through there. You know, I think we'd be well over the 75,000 though. But I don't think that, you know, we won't even know that until, you know, we see what
I
comes
think just
back.
let's go for it and see what we can get for 75.
We like Arbutus 5 Phase 2 project.
Yeah.
Do you need a motion for it?
That was plenty of direction.
We'll get some more information.
Yeah, so
I'm cool, just a simple
when,
playground, slide, swings, boom.
how do we feel about,
Water's the real place.
how do we feel about shoreline restoration from the runoff spot
You know
That's
what?
what I
to
wanna try.
the,
North.
thank you, North.
Well, I think with the engineers, as long as they listen to, and Beth will clearly show, and if not, I have photos, and so does another resident in East Bay, of the runoff, that they can clearly see that and look at that and leave it up to the engineers to come up with whether it's a rain garden, or if we do this, if the road commission does that, that'll help solve that problem, because you would hate to put that money into that spot, and that spot is right where we'll be
It
putting
is
that
directly
money.
across from all this elevation.
Yeah,
I think
so.
that's- I think that's really important.
Because I'll tell you right now,
Beth is well aware of that,
Yeah.
absolutely.
where the sandy area is on this map, if we don't address the issue, it will become just a dead area. Because people are gonna fish, people are gonna, I've seen it all summer. You know, kids, grown-ups aren't really gonna go in the squishy squish, but the kids will. And eventually, that's just gonna be one big mud puddle.
What's the ordinance rules, say like, you know, like the state park where it's a seawall, so you can then go down to kind of the natural area, but then behind that seawall, you could dump sand and have like a really nice sandy area. Like how far back can we set up like a beach area that way?
Within 50 feet of the ordinary high water mark, you're not allowed to build a structure unless it's approved by an engineer to be necessary to structurally support your home. So a seawall would not be something that somebody would be able to
And
do.
you really don't want a seawall there, that we went around and around about that seawall and those big boulders that went down there because of that, because of how that water comes in and sucks out all the sand. That's our biggest problem.
That's what I was trying to say,
Initially.
there's a way to have a barrier.
Can I see
Anytime
your
you
runoff
harden the
picture again?
Shoreline, you run the risk of it eroding underneath that seawall. So basically, once you put in a seawall, you're already starting the process of
Yes.
needing to replace that seawall. because it
Absolutely.
just- The wave action hits the wall and disperses up and down versus like over a gradual.
Terrible idea, I got it.
Yeah.
Over a gradual, it'll slowly
Uh,
dissipate that energy.
Michigan
versus
Lakes and
crashing.
Shoreline, they have great video on that, and so does MSU.
But yeah, I think.
I just know that's
think-
how like the resort does it. They
You
have a
could-
big
There's
area
all
where it's like
pictures.
all nice.
Oh,
deep.
oh, wow, okay.
Yeah.
Into the water, there's
I wanna
a
see
wall, so they can't touch, and then
This one.
I mean,
These
you can
ones.
maintain access while still preventing access at the same time. So you would just like, through the process of establishing the natural shoreline, you would just fence that area off to prevent people from going in there. Once it's established woody vegetation, it's just not gonna be fun to go in there anyway, so hopefully people will not do that.
Right, because I'm thinking if we make an obvious path, I'm looking at the runoff. Ooh, it's right at the end of the walkway. It's right there.
It's gonna be real.
They've got-
It's gonna go right where we're talking.
Yeah, the path would.
And in April, when it's raining, Nathan, get in there and go right down there and you'll see, basically. But
Well, we have a tree right there. We planted a tree right there, so,
yeah, there is a tree
It goes, it's at that corner, where the water, so it comes down the road, goes across the parking lot.
there. And it all stays to the right where this sand is.
There's a picnic table, I think, right there.
Mhm. Yeah, I have a picture of, they brought the handicap kayak launch, and they had it on shore there, and so it was over there.
got damaged.
I would,
Last year.
without being familiar with the site at all, I mean, I was there once this fall and I plowed there, seen it covered in snow. I would think the playground might be up, you know, closer to the roadside as opposed to being down by the water.
Like right
Yeah, like
there.
where the slide is.
Yeah, right, where the slide is now, keeping something small and modest there, and that way we'd be able to push the snow
Mm-hmm.
to the left of that onto.
Yeah, like where the swing set currently is, you know, sometimes, you know, under muck water and all that, so I remember.
The swing set, I can't picture that.
It had to be closer to the bank of the hill.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Be up there, which
Absconding
that
with your
scares me to
phone.
death.
Well,
A car
it's not that,
falling off of that curve.
there's enough space there and it, you know, it's not, if it's in that corner, it's like kind of, the design kind of constricted.
Yeah.
They're gonna be able to get to the road and stuff. So I would see it.
Here's this runoff, because I
There's
was
also all
thinking,
the way over here, we can.
plant
The engineers,
this,
that's what they do.
yes, in your rain garden, but that's the sidewalk that takes you to the parks. This,
I am on that.
this is a parking spot. So once again, the thing that I addressed before we did all this was, there was no safe way for the kids to get over here, because you have to walk through the parking lot. And this is and this is a bridge.
I mean,
A cute
could-
little,
Yeah, native plantings, the
Help it out
bridge.
and then do
thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So,
Are we good?
We'll look into
we
it.
don't need action on this, just thumbs up for the Arbutus 5 Phase 2.
Yeah, let's,
Thank you.
All right. Number 10, upcoming meeting dates. The next Parks Commission meeting is February 17th, 2026. And then February 7th is the sled party,
Yeah,
1 to
who's all
3.
coming to that? I
The
think
sledding?
Good.
I'll
As long as
probably
I'm
be
not
there.
sick.
Should
or
be
you
there.
forget.
Or I won't forget this time.
Sounds good.
We got it on my calendar at home.
What about getting hot chocolate and all that for that?
We'll do
'Cause
the
this is
water similar to we did last year.
Yeah.
We'll pick up the big thing of hot water from the, East
Fire hall.
ambulance. And then, I think between Nathan and I, we can go pick up snacks somewhere. We'll just do something similar to we did last year. with the grill.
If they're looking at like a rain garden at back to our deer center, I'll be quiet. You know, I could possibly have some suggestions for that too, but we'll see what we can.
All right.
I plan on going on the 7th, but I'm starting to get, my children are starting to get birthday party invitations. So,
Isn't that driving yet?
They happen
it's
every
the
year.
14. What? What'd you say?
They happen every year, I remember.
Well, for they're like making friends.
Oh.
You can drop them off and come back to the.
Well, I know, but
Wait.
All right, all right.
Yeah, hold
Number
on.
11, meeting is adjourned.
6:55.
6:55.